6:30 on the dot. Good morning. It was part of the Tri-Cities community for almost 4 decades, but a grassroots salmon hatchery is no more this morning. The Mossom Creek Hatchery in Port Moody was destroyed by fire last night. The cause of the blaze is unclear, although no one was hurt. Fire crews had trouble accessing the hatchery because of its location up a rugged trail. The building itself was wiped out, although volunteers are still hoping some of this year's fish stocks can be salvaged, but it's not considered likely.
All the photo albums and all our scrapbooks, from every press clipping that we've had over the 37 years is stored up there, and it's really super unfortunate because we were just in the process of hiring somebody to start digitizing all our old records so that we had them permanently recorded and stored off-site. So that's all gone now.
The hatchery was created in 1976 by a pair of teachers and volunteers from Centennial Secondary in Coquitlam. Students from the school still contribute to the program. When the hatchery started, there were no salmon left in Mossom Creek. Now there's a run of both chum and coho. A night of high drama in Surrey where Mounties are continuing to investigate a carjacking and a stabbing. Police are looking for a stolen van and an Indo-Canadian couple. A man was getting out of the van at the Esso at King George and 104th Avenue at around 10:30 last night. That's when the couple approached him, pulled out a machete, and demanded he hand over his keys, which he did. 10 minutes later, another man at a nearby drop-in center called 911 to report he had been stabbed in the stomach. He told people he had words with the Indo-Canadian couple when the man pulled out the small sword and slashed him. The Vancouver Police Department's property office resembles an upscale department store this morning after a major bust on the city's east side. Police say they seized $250,000 in stolen products from a small apartment on Victoria Drive. Men's and women's clothing, including expensive winter coats, purses, wallets, sunglasses, perfume, even ice wine. No one lived at the apartment. It was only used to store and sell the goods.
A lot of this stuff is high-end Coach items, high-end North Face, high-end Arc'teryx items that still have retail tags in the $500 range. And a lot of this property was being sold at a third of what retail prices were.
2 women, ages 45 and 53, have been arrested and charged with possessing stolen property over $5,000. A disgraced former RCMP officer has avoided jail time, but more court appearances await him. Derek Brassington was silent leaving court after making a tearful apology for shoplifting. Brassington was given a conditional discharge, a year probation, and 30 hours community service. He admitted stealing a $70 hoodie from the pro shop at Burnaby 8 Rinks. Brassington and 3 others are still facing charges for misconduct in the Surrey 6 murder investigation. The 43-year-old is accused of having sex with a witness. We're learning more about the man accused of faking sign language next to world leaders during Nelson Mandela's memorial on Tuesday. It turns out he may be mentally ill. The man told a Johannesburg newspaper he was hallucinating and hearing voices and that he is sorry. He also admits to receiving treatment for schizophrenia and was having an episode. Meantime, Prime Minister Stephen Harper and the rest of the Canadian delegation who flew to attend Mandela's memorial and then to view the body in Pretoria left South Africa this morning, bound for Ottawa. And for a second day, droves of mourners from around the globe filed past Nelson Mandela's body as it lay in state in South Africa's capital. His casket is in the amphitheater at the Union Buildings, where he was inaugurated as the country's first black and democratically elected president in 1994. Tomorrow is the final day of viewing. Mandela will be buried on Sunday in the village of Kunu in the Eastern Cape, where he spent his childhood. Here's something to put this week's weather conditions in perspective. Our friends in Prince George are dealing with much worse. Prince George is digging out after getting 25 centimeters of snow over 24 hours. Even more white stuff is arriving, although the city isn't expecting another snow like this. Complicating matters is a strike by city workers. They're ready to walk out on Saturday, but snow clearing is an essential service, so that will keep happening. Things are definitely better in Kamloops, but drivers are still being asked to slow down. The roads are slippery and visibility is far from ideal. Outside the city, a snowplow collided with a semi-trailer on the Yellowhead Highway. The plow ended up on its side, but the driver was not seriously injured. It is just coming up on 6:35, and we get you up to speed on the world of sports. Here's Don Taylor.